look anymore. Now that I've seen you, I don't have to dream anymore. Now that you came true, I'm already yours. I don't have to look anymore. Now that I've seen you, I don't have to dream anymore. Now that you came true, I'm already yours. I don't have to look anymore. Now that I've seen you, I don't have to dream anymore. Now that you came true, I'm already yours. I'm already yours. I don't have to look anymore. Now that I've seen you, I don't have to dream anymore. Now that you came true, I'm already yours.
All right, started the wrong song, but I fixed it, so it's fine. It's fine. All right, going to draw this Green Lantern character. Oh, why would I do that? Well, little tidbits came out about you know the Green Lanterns are the Lanterns series that HBO's working on, and I looked at this and thought I would do a drawing of this character from Green Lantern comics, and it all concerns this actor who uh, uh, yes, the music is AI. That there's some scuttlebutt as to who he's playing and that sort of thing. So I'll do that, and we'll see how that goes. Um, So let me go ahead and put the super tip in. Oh, there's the link. All right. We'll go and take a look at this article. Oh, yes. Make sure everything is where I want it. Well, all right. Well, now let me. Gee, you got to do everything manually. Golly. All right. So this actor, Garrett Dillahunt, and the question, is he playing the Green Arrow? Is this other DC Comics superhero, So it says, at an interesting turn of events, now that the DCU Lanterns is in production, actor Garrett Dillahunt posts and deletes a social media post that seemingly reveals he could be playing Green Arrow, Oliver Queen. The news follows the recent big leak, rather, of the flight video. Well, it wasn't all that. But anyway, Sinestro actor Ulrich Thomason challenged. Yeah. So, Garrett Dillon clarifies okay, so this has been updated already. No. Me, I should be so lucky. But no, just a Halloween costume from a few years back. I'm just a nerd. I'm a nerd, just a fan, unless they want one-legged conspiracy theorist, paranoid old me, Ollie, then maybe I have a shot. But no. He has one leg? So anyway, the whole thing is shot down. James Gunn's response on the fan, ha, no, he's not. So that's the image. It was this, and people thought, oh, it's a storyboard. And this was a picture of him dressed up as Green Arrow for Halloween some time ago. So he posted it, then deleted it, but it was too late. People saw it and said, "Oh my god!" So the idea, he is in the show, and here we go. The official description says his character is that he is playing modern cowboy William Macon or Mason, who is a self-righteous, conspiracy-minded man who masks his ruthless ambition behind a charming and calculated facade. It's actually thought that Dillahunt is playing the villain of the series, and there is fan speculation that Dillahunt might even be the Black Hand. Actor Jason Ritter has also been announced to be playing his son, Billy Mason. One wonders if the son is actually the one that becomes the Black Hand after what happens here. So anyway, no Green Arrow, at least not for Garrett Dillahunt. So anyway, there's the image of him in the outfit and all that stuff. But much ado about nothing, really. But still, only speculation that he could be the Black Hand. The reason being is the Black Hand was sort of the core villain of the Blackest Night series, where he had been an old comic book villain for the Green Lantern stories, and then kind of just, faded into memory and became something of a joke after that. So they brought him back to be this pawn of this sort of god of death type character, and gave him these black rings that could resurrect the dead. So you basically had a bunch of super zombies flying around, battling the DC characters, and all that sort of stuff. And the thought is, would they weave that in to their Lanterns series? Because the plot, the briefest of descriptions, it says they're investigating this small town, the two Lanterns, that being John Stewart and Hal Jordan. There they are. And because it's cheaper to have your setting in a small town rather than outer space, where most of the Green Lantern stuff happens. And they discover an ancient horror. So there's been all kinds of speculation as to what it could be. But if one of the, villains or local crime bosses, criminals, whatever, corrupt people of the town gets seduced by this evil force, it could fit in with the Black Hand story. Not his original story, as he was his long-running villain for Green Lantern, but ultimately the Blackest Night story, where he becomes basically the lead pawn of this ancient evil force. And so that's their idea. That's their idea, so far. So, well, why is it doing that? Well, all right, I'll put that. And, why is it? No. What the hell? Why won't it show the camera? I apologize. This thing is, that's adding it to the scene. Jeez. Fancy? Are you sure? No. Weird. All right. Well, we'll just do it like that. That means you can't send the super tip, I'm afraid, until maybe later I can go, if anyone wishes to. All right. So Mumbles Slam says, I just saw Yo La Tango, who have a song titled Green Arrow. All right. Does anyone actually care? I don't know, somebody. Mumble Slam homely fans. Huh. Well, don't know about that, but anyway, that's going to be the subject matter of the drawing. So I'll draw the character, and that'll give me something to do for the stream. And that's all that really matters. That's right. So basically, he was some guy in a black suit and cape, and he had these, I don't know, weapons or whatever. Um, but ultimately, he became such a failure that I think he did himself in. But then this, entity brought him back and said, "Hey, you want to really matter or something like that, and you can be the leader of my army of the dead type thing." And that's what he did. So it turned out to be a little trick about how to bring dead characters uh, back, from the dead. Not all of them, but some of them. Don't really know why some came back and others didn't. But anyway, uh, it was basically almost like a zombie story, but with their superhero characters and whatnot. And then, of course, all it was the reanimated corpses. They weren't like their original selves. So when they encountered loved ones who at first wanted them to be back, but had to try to destroy them because, well, now they were all evil and all that sort of thing. And since then, I guess they've done follow-ups where that's who the Black Hand is. Doesn't have anything to do with the Black Hand that started World War One, but which that probably had nothing to do with it either, about whether they came up with the name or anything. Don't know, but none of this really matters if that Superman movie bombs at the box office. I mean, they'll release the show. They're shooting it, spending the money on it. But as far as this overall shared universe thing, uh, they just have to scrap that because it's too expensive for too little return. All right. And so he can hear, he has holes in his mask, so his ears stick out. Yeah, yeah. And so I don't know if that makes Batman hard of hearing because he doesn't have those. He has those bad ears on it, so I don't know. Maybe that's the deal. But he just had this triangle symbol thing, and then when the Blackest Night thing, they put these little squares here, and it was believed that was symbolic of a hand. See, and while it's this, it was like a white image sort of on his chest. So then you just do it as a line, so it's outlined in white, but the actual image is black hand. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, that's really something. Uh, so there you go. Black hand. But it sounds a lot like the bulk of the show because they were saying, "Hey, it's like True Detective meets superheroes." But I suspect it's because it's cheaper to do something like that. The superheroes are expensive to make, so there's probably a handful of superhero scenes, and then the rest of it is this sort of murder mystery soap opera thing about this corrupt, nasty town and all that. And that guy, is some of this. And so since his character was already announced, and it wasn't like Green Arrow or whatever. Uh, the suspicion was that in order to keep the plot under wraps and have it be a surprise or whatever, they just lied about what character he was actually playing. Now, sometimes that does happen. Or they'll list a name for a character and that's it, but they don't really give like a full on backstory or description of who the character is and all that. Whereas here, they certainly did. Um, of course, I don't recall what the real name of Black Hand is. So if it's not that particular name of Mason, then this might just be BS too. And unless I don't know, they'll say, "Oh, well, the family name changed when they moved, and it was like originally that or something." Uh, I don't know. Um, to justify the change and say, "Hey, we weren't really all that deceptive" or whatever. Um, but that's what they're doing. So the other character, there was another actor who was announced to have been cast in it, and I can't remember exactly why, but they thought he might be playing the character Atrocitus. Yes, that's his name, Atrocitus. Another Lantern character. And with Sinestro being involved, I'm now beginning to wonder if just the Sinestro scenes will be like a flashback to Hal Jordan's years of being trained by Sinestro in his early years. And because there is this scene where before Atrocitus became a Red Lantern, they had to go arrest him. And it might just be that. And I was kind of wondering if Sinestro would really have any serious involvement in the series beyond that, other than to just introduce him, and that he shows up later for the movies or the another season of this show, provided anybody watches it. Um, and then he becomes like more of a villain for the John Stewart character, because I'm pretty well convinced that the Hal Jordan version of Green Lantern will not survive this series. They'll kill him off, and then John Stewart will be their main Green Lantern. Which means, well, I guess they'll have to start making up stories out of whole cloth, or more than likely they'll adapt stories that originally was centered around the Hal Jordan character and just shoehorn John Stewart in, even though the character of John Stewart has his own stories. But that's the sort of dumb thing they do. Maybe not. Maybe they won't, but odds are that's exactly what they're going to do. Because, you know, I mean, Hal Jordan, he's pretty much the Green Lantern for decades and that sort of thing. But have you noticed he's white, you know? So, yeah, they're going to have to do something about that. So, odds are that's how that'll go. There we go. course, another problem about this, if this guy does become the Black Hand, is that that's also pretty far removed from the setup of him being constantly beaten by Green Lantern and ultimately feeling quite defeated and broken about his life, which brings him even more into the thrall of the, this dark force or whatever. So here, I guess they would have to do something of uh, a compressed version of that to where, and I think there's something about suggesting that, uh, like his wife has an affair with John Stewart. So that's what really pisses him off. And so you could throw that in there, I suppose, to why he really, he hates Green Lantern and becomes the perfect, uh, pawn for this evil force. And I'll give you the power to take him down and all this sort of stuff. And that might be sort of the thing they'll do. But there again, uh, in the comics, the Green Lantern that Black Hand typically went up against was the Hal Jordan version. All right. All right. All right. Touch it up here, there. All right. There. There we have it. Oh, I chopped his head off. Gee, that's embarrassing. Uh, Saint Ranger, this is not live. This is from later today. You can't fool me. You got me. Mumble Slams, welcome, stranger. Saint Ranger, come on. Okay, inquiring minds want to know. Please tell us where those erasers you have are. They both go? Oh yeah. I'm using those right. See, that's the ones you sent, and yeah, This is plastic razors. It's a different brand, but it's probably the best plastic razors are the ones that I go with, and they worked out very well. So thank you very much, Saint Ranger. I do appreciate it. Uh, Saint Ranger says, "Howdy, Doug," and thank you. Well, thank you. Uh, Rumble, Summer Mix, Best Popular Songs, 2025, Faded, Supergirl, A Sky Full of Star. Okay. Starry, hi Doug, hi Starry. St. Ranger, hi Mumbles Slam, I just saw your howdy. Good morning to you. Mumbles Slam, what's your favorite pen? Well, for the most part, it's just a Papermate ballpoint. For thin lines and stuff. But I got quite a few of these art pens. This one is kind of a cheap knockoff of Micron pens. Those are pretty good to use for inking purposes. Uh, and this one is called Art Skills because it's cheap. But it does the same thing, so good enough. And so there's different variations and sizes of them to get the different lines you want for inking these drawings. Mumble Slim, like everyday pen you can find in any store. Yeah, like the Papermate pen, like I was showing this one. You can use that. Saint Ranger says a space pen refill in a Sterling Parker or Sterling Cross pen. I have a 14 karat solid, not gold filled cross pen, but I prefer sterling silver. I got 6 or 7 back in the 70s. Real inexpensive then. A lot was inexpensive then. Everyday pen. Yeah. St. Ranger, those G5 and G7 Pentel pens. St. Ranger, I wanted to get some good erasers that are Doug approved. Well, you did. Yeah. Those will work rather nicely. All right. So now I got to switch over to Photoshop. So I'll play something as we wait. Not that. No, not that. Good Lord, that's 10 minutes long. Well, you'll probably get the idea, and I'll interrupt it. But in the meantime, this will be my Mr. Nailsin news segment. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Nothing will make it better. Janitor with incurable STD urinated into water bottles, allegedly infected more than a dozen women at doctors' offices. God. So, what's his deal? Man, he's really pissy, isn't he? A janitor in Texas is heading to prison for urinating into water bottles and rinsing his private parts in them, with more than a dozen women coming forward and accusing him of giving them a sexually transmitted disease at doctors' offices where he worked. Lucio Diaz, 50, was sentenced to 6 years in prison. 6 years only? I mean, after pleading guilty to only one, of his alleged urine attacks on a woman he worked with at an office in the Houston area. Oh boy, he worked with her, huh? Yeah. Got some kind of obsession going on. The 54-year-old victim contracted herpes simplex 1 virus from Diaz after he tainted an office water dispenser and water bottles she brought home from work. Good Lord. God. You will have my taint in you. You will. I suppose they could do the test on it to make, was it really him or? But yeah. He just happens to have, and so, hey, look, it's the same DNA sequence of herpes in the water bottle. But it looks like security. Yeah, you see, assume you're on camera all the time, and yeah, don't whip it out. So what? She spoke to a local affiliate in October 2022 about what happened, saying cops confirmed through urinalysis that Diaz was behind the disgusting acts and that he was also caught on hidden camera. What? That's right, Lucio. We got you. Oh, man, I fell for that one. This individual is a sick man, the unidentified woman said while describing what was caught on camera. Diaz pulls out his penis and puts his penis in my bottle. Basically rinses his penis in the water. I learned I acquired a sexually transmitted disease for which he also tested positive for. Diaz was charged with indecent assault and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. His dick, with his bodily fluids being considered the weapon as they contained an incurable STD. So she's stuck with this shit because this weirdo had some thing for her, His acts were discovered after the victim and others came forward and reported smelling urine in their water and on their personal bottle. So I guess you didn't smell it at first. You took a swig and you're like, oh, what's that smell? And this tastes funny. Holy crap. Well, he gave me an STD I will have for the rest of my life, the victim said. Nothing is going to change it. Nothing will make it better for me. In fact, I feel like for the rest of my life, I will have to be careful. And a guy who's clearly got some weird sexual obsession with this woman, in his eyes, he won, because, part of me will always be with you. Yeah. That's the, one of the sad factors here. At least 13 women have reportedly come forward over the past 3 years and accused Diaz of spreading herpes and hepatitis A to them, with 4 of them teaming up for a lawsuit that was filed against him and one of the office buildings where he worked in 2022. Women from at least 2 different offices in the Houston area have reportedly come forward. The civil suit reportedly named one of the building's owners, its management company, the maintenance company, and the cleaning company that Diaz worked for. The status of the suit as of March 2025 is unclear. Well, you got to wonder how much vetting was done. Does he have a record? Was there some weird perversions going on previously? And was that, of course, I don't know, for janitorial work. Yeah, they shouldn't they be tested for hepatitis and all that, before you have access to restroom facilities and all that. I mean, you're going to anyway. You don't know who the hell's going in and out of those places and all that, but and you never. Well, I mean, they got the disease already, but how many of them are the type? You know what? I don't know that I'd ever win her over to like me, but I could certainly stick my dick into her water bottle. The water bottle openings are not that big. Oh. They have a duty to protect their tenants, and they wholly failed in those responsibilities, Attorney Kim Spurlock said in 2022. Well, there is something to that, but you'll have to make the case of how they could have known and whatnot, especially if this guy has some record and, not seeing it. Ashton Too High says, honest dear, I never cheated on you. Someone must have pissed in me bottle at the gym. Seriously, though, how on earth are these buildings owners, management company, the maintenance company, and the cleaning company expected to protect tenants from that sort of behavior? Uh, yeah, and it's not an unreasonable question. It's the question they're going to have to answer through the case. But if there's more detail here, that he did have some, you know, crap in his background, they said, whatever, just clean the toilets and dump the trash, you know. Then, oh boy, now you got a lawsuit. But yes, the initial woman they're talking to, and it's her bottle on camera and everything, and sounds like they traced it directly to him. Well, it's possible he was obsessed with this one woman, but odds are he's pissed off at all women because they wouldn't play with his pee-pee. But now, his pee-pee will play with them.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Creeps and widows getting all creepy and weird. Sluts selling butts, them buttholes done been sold. Dogs breeding like bugs.
Nailsin knows. Yep. Well, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you just got to protect your water supply, you know, because you never know. Sadly, you just never know. Well, it's only for the rest of her life, you know. All right, here we are. Oh, wait. Why do I always do that? I know it's not there yet. There we go. Put it large. And here it is. He's in the photo show. I wonder if it'll do it like that. Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Let me test this right quick. Nope. It's not working. Man, every time I gotta do another one. Weird. Huh. Oh well. That's too bad. All right. So a quick trick. Here's the comic book classic version of it as he originally appeared. Come on. Close. Oh, not. Damn it. I thought I selected this one. And here's how he appears later. You can see his mummified sort of, you know, zombie hand. So something like that. All right, now I got to start over with this dumb thing. Okay. So, desaturate. No. And then, so we go this way, this way. How far can we go? Well, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. And then the paint filter. Takes its own sweet time. There it goes. We'll get rid of that. Okay, nothing there. We don't want this here. So that's gone. All right. So he's in this black suit, but typical of comic books, there's like shades of blue or like a, oh, man, what the hell is that? What the hell is even that? Oh, it came to square, yeah. So you do it like that, you know, and let's see if it's all contained. If I can just get rid of all this extra stuff. And oh, yeah, it was. Okay. So, one of the quick things, since it does just take the highlights would be some form of blue, So, I will make 2 layers of this guy. And then the top one, I'm going to darken him completely, all the way to black. And then pick the blue. Maybe not too bright. I mean, it would have been. Well, let me go with this one that's got a touch of purple in it. But, well, maybe a little better than that. This might do it. All right. That'll be the color we work with. And just sort of brighten it as he comes through here. So, there you go. That would be the main color rather than trying to color every little spot and all that nonsense. I don't have all day, I wonder what would the select tool do? Oh, look at that. Huh. Well, okay, I don't want it to cut it out completely. So here, I could, oops, wrong one. Go back to top layer, and there we go. Because I'll just leave that there here as sort of the coloring of the suit. Then we'll do that. Go there. And hey, look, you're good. A smaller eraser to go ahead and have the black ink come through here. I don't know. I guess I'll leave that blue like it's part of his mask. Something like that. But a good bit of his chin would come through, I would think. So, all right, there we go. We'll do the eyes. We'll have those remain white. And it's pretty much the whole dealio, really. There he is with his flesh color. Huh. Well, I'll fix that later then. All right. So, still gonna need some highlight and details here. So I'll go ahead and merge it at this point. Make this a little brighter than most of it. We'll do the same with this triangle and these little squares. And I don't know, I guess I could do it this way. Yeah. Oops. There we go. Just All right. He's got that. Back to this on the top of his head. Maybe just a little bit, but not by much. And oop, oop, oop. There, kind of darken some of this. There we go. And some detail there. Do a lot of that. Okay. Huh. Yeah. Crap. Well, fix that. Undo. If only there was an undo option in all matters of life, you know. Yeah. Should have tested this a little more. Jeez, how much crap did I do? I did a lot of crap. No, that's it. All right. Well, okay. That. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Kind of too bulky on that, but all right. Okay. So, the Black Hand. But the whole suit is black. He's got two black hands. I don't know. It's like when he got those powers to resurrect the dead and all that. It was like the bare hand that had the ring was the one, but then it wasn't really black anymore. It was rather, pale and stuff, all zombified looking. So I guess it was just the symbol on his chest, and that's the black hand part. I don't know. All right, create a layer. Uh, this, that. Oop. So the more I think about it, is like with the plot, it's probably not that the character that Dillahunt's playing. It's probably his son, because maybe after this, or the season's over, and they deal with whatever the threat is. Uh, his father doesn't survive it, and kid gets the wrong idea that it's the Lantern's fault, and becomes a villain as a result. Wanting revenge and that sort of thing. Possibly. Put a little bit of glow there, or something like that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. All right. Let's just, I don't know, give him 5 o'clock shadow. So there you go. Black hand. Yeah. Ta-da. Uh, uh. Well, that's pretty much the deal. Um, okay. St. Ranger says, I like having red, blue, and black ink pens for notes where multiple ink colors makes the note easier to understand. St. Ranger, what awful people, like cold-blooded bugs, not even predatory species are so foul. You mean the janitor who shared his tainted member with the object of his desire. Yeah. Yeah. St. Ranger, I'm so glad I avoided STDs. I think most people are, Uh, Mumble Slam, at least uh, St. Ranger and Pam, essentially her. Well, you didn't avoid her. What? Oh, St. Ranger, not essentially stupid autocorrect, especially Pam. Thank God. There you go. Starry says, you're in trouble. You think that's what the police said to it? Mumble Slam, do you ever worry that your drawings look too similar? Well, it depends. Uh, One of the things is a certain amount of consistency. If they're all over the place, it's a bit jarring, especially for like comic strips and stuff. But for a one shot thing, and usually this is just the go to style. Like if I was doing a portrait of someone, it would take a very long time to do that, appropriately and whatnot. But a lot of times I just go for this wonky, cartoony, caricature style. Just about everything, even though I'm drawing this super villain character type thing. Obviously, it would be a bit more stylized if it was supposed to be done seriously for their comic books or what have you. But it's my basic go-to style. It was more influenced by Mad Magazine and Mort Drucker and Angelo Torres than the regular superhero comics did. Saint Ranger, twice I thought Doug's moving cursor was something flying over my screen. Yeah, it's a little odd when I'm sharing Photoshop. Most of what's in Photoshop, you don't see it. You don't see all the tools I have and stuff. And so it's just the little cursor running around clicking those things. um, Strange, but that's the way it is. Sorry about that. Hulu 93 Rumble Summer Back Best. So, well, head over there to watch Faded Supergirl, some song or something. Saint Ranger, good use of light and dark. Well, that's the idea. Uh, it's a very mostly black suit, but when the light hits it, you see the highlights, and so that's the idea. Otherwise, if you did him completely black, you would see his face, his eyes, and I guess the little symbol on his chest and everything else, his hands. Most of his his thighs and stuff would disappear behind or in front of the cape, and well, that could be a problem, especially if you're drawing him at night. You know, Saint Raider, very insightful and illuminating words on how you use a style. Well, thank you. Saint Raider, did you get the mail? Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah. Jeez, let me. It's not too far from here. I'll get that. Whoops. Oh, that's not important. So, let me switch back to, I guess, stop sharing and, well, put me back in. Man, why won't it? That is weird. Put that. It's like it doesn't recognize. I can't see the camera or something. That is weird. The camera is on. Man, why is it doing that? Well, I guess I just got to go back to the dynamic scene. But that means no super tips. I was going to show some of those. Well, of course, I've already tried that and it didn't work for the other thing, too. Damn it, everything is different. It's always different every time I use any of these things. Anyway, let me fix my position here. There it is. shrink way, way down so you can see a good bit of this. Um, oh, look at that. It worked. Okay. All right. Here's the, and you got a little dent there. The book St. Ranger sent me oh, it's backwards. Well, you get the idea. The Mad Bathroom Companion. No, it isn't backwards. Look, it's reading perfect. I don't know, whatever. But all these different comic strips from Mad Magazine, a lot of which I've already seen. But it doesn't matter. I've got this cool collection of them. And you see, you think I'm about to read the Bible, but it's Mad. So all that stuff doesn't have any of the TV and movie parodies in it, but all the other stuff that so frequented Mad Magazine. And so, cool stuff. So thanks again, St. Ranger. And well, yeah, when you need something to read when you go to the bathroom, well, here's the Bathroom Companion. So they're encouraging you to read these comic strips while you answer nature's call. And everyone must answer it. If you don't, well, it's just going to get nasty, and you really don't want that. So there you go. A cool gift from St. Ranger, along with plastic erasers and the the blades. So let me. I feel so small. Now I'm big again. So there we have it. The Black Hand. Will he show up in the movie or not? I mean, movie, I guess TV series. Well, time will tell. I know we're all just chomping at the bit to find out, you know. We'll see. If the Superman movie does well, then there'll be more productions from this endeavor. And probably like this first season, I'm getting, because Warner Brothers is broke. So they're betting everything on that Superman movie to generate income for their overall projects. There's other irons in the fire, but this is a big one for them. I don't know that this is going to work, but hopefully it's good. You want a fun movie, so like it's that sort of thing. But so if it does, and the Lantern series is well received, there's a lot of problems there, not just the lacking of money to take a Lantern story, which is basically space cops in outer space going to spend the entirety of their series in a little small town. But also there's two writers working on it that I absolutely cannot stand. And so I'm very cautious about the outcome of that. But it's the first time for everything. Maybe they'll do all right. And the showrunner, he worked on Ozark, and that was pretty good. So maybe if he's more the guiding hand of it, it might actually be okay. Then, if all this works, the second season will probably be a bit more spectacular. But I suspect Hal Jordan will not survive. They've already cast a really old version of him, so you don't really get any of his stories after this going forward. But the reason I think this is because he's an older actor, but also the race conscious thing. So they'll go for the black iteration of him. At least it's not a race swap, but Jon Stewart's an original character. But he's got his own stories, but I suspect they're just going to shoehorn Hal Jordan stories onto it. So, But anyway, there was rumors of a Green Lantern movie they wanted to do, and that one was going to be this buddy cop scenario in space between Hal Jordan and John Stewart, with John Stewart being the younger rookie cop being trained by the older veteran Green Lantern. And in that one, it would end with Hal Jordan dying. And so going forward, John Stewart is your Green Lantern, that kind of thing. So my guess is the basic templates of it and outline was just rearranged to take place on Earth because, you know, it's cheaper. And they're just going to pursue that for this TV series rather than a film. The other thing about that, though, is something that was originally tailor-made plot-wise for a 2-hour movie, and now you got to stretch it into, I forget how many episodes, I guess 8 or something like that. Probably a lot of padding in there, filler episodes. And those don't go very well for these stories that are supposed to be these adventures, you know. And it's one thing when they're solving a crime or something like that, and you can make that work to a point. But just like that Daredevil show they just did, it was just boring soap opera stuff with, I don't know, probably in its entirety of 9 episodes, you probably had roughly 10 minutes of any kind of action or anything. You just make it a cop drama and forget about the superheroes if that's what you want to do. It'd probably be better received. So anyway, lots of troubling things about the potential for the series to be any good. But then again, maybe they found a way, but I doubt it. With the likes of Damon Lindelof and Tom King working on this, odds are against it. And that's too bad. Awesome. I'm glad. Good. St. Ranger. A. Thompson. Doug, we can't see you. You can't? I thought I turned the thing off. It's turned off. It shouldn't show it anymore. How is it still showing that? Well, there I am. All right. St. Ranger, it's magic. The Mad Magazine book, the drawing, the plastic eraser. St. Ranger, I hope you get a laugh. Oh yeah, you know, I grew up on Mad Magazine, so 8 times said now it's lagging. Lagging. 8 times said, Doug, we control the horizontal and vertical. Yeah, you know, Outer Limits had a few good episodes, and it's odd, like some of the later, the reboot or I don't know, remake show, I guess. I ended up liking. I mean, I liked the original, but I ended up liking quite a few of those. It's like there were redos of Twilight Zone, and just because I hold Twilight Zone in such a high status, that I was always like, I don't mind shows that take that template of a weird, you know, sort of sci-fi and supernatural anthology series. And I'd rather people do that, like Tales from the Dark Side, stuff like that. Now, some of the Twilight Zone shows later that they did, the new ones weren't bad. They had a couple of them that were pretty good, but it just, you know, because I have such high respect for the title and Rod Serling and their Proud Approach, and I think it's one, if not the greatest television show ever made. There is like, don't try to do that. Being influenced by it is fine. Outer Limits, of course, had the same approach, but I don't think it ever really quite clinched it the way Twilight Zone did. But, you know, I suppose some could feel the same, but the later show had a couple of good. There was this one episode where this guy, he was dying of cancer, and his brother or his brother-in-law, whatever, was this genius scientist who was working on nanobots, and the guy was desperate, and he said, well, I could try these nanobots to possibly cure you. And so, so they do, and it works. It cures him. The cancer is gone. And so, it's great. I guess he wasn't the brother-in-law. He was engaged to the scientist's sister or something like that. Anyway, But after a while, he started, oh, I got this pain. I don't know what's going on. He said, okay, let's take a look. And what happened was the nanobots, after they were done with the cancer, they decided, hey, let's fix some other things in him. So they decided his rib cage wasn't sufficient. So they made a bigger one on the outside. So it was very painful. And things just got weirder. It kept doing things to him. And he's like, well, make him stop. And he's like, I can't. And at one point, it grew eyeballs in the back of his head. Said, this will help you see behind you and all this stuff. So he says, the only thing I could think of is to electrocute the nanobots. And of course, that would kill him. And he says, I can't live like this. So that's what he did. He ended up killing him anyway. But it was shockingly brutal episode for that series. Can't remember if that was HBO or Showtime that had that one. As far as the Paramount Plus Twilight Zone, I never bothered. After what they've done with their new Star Trek, I didn't care. And I think they were trying to do like sequels to classic Twilight Zone episodes. That's just stupid. Saint Ranger, good paper for origami projects too. All right. A. Thompson, we will control the horizontal and we will control the vertical. Saint Ranger, every comic hero needs sharp blades. Well, that's what Wolverine always said. As Saint Ranger, if pot were legal and free, would you smoke or ingest edibles? Eve, a little pot is the only drug I did do. You mean you used to, but you still do? No, I never had an interest in pot. And at this point, edibles, I mean, with sugar, A. Thompson, no drugs for me. St. Ranger, that is best choice. Edibles, best choice. So, St. Ranger, I quit pot for about 8 years in my 30s when I went back to college and after. Yeah. St. Ranger, I liked growing pot and not buying it. Yeah. St. Ranger, not buying or selling. Yeah, just for me. I understand. Yeah. St. Ranger, we see you. Well, good. A. Thompson, Doug, did you like Black Mirror? Well, I've only seen 2 episodes, the first 2, and yeah, I did. And Black Mirror is a good example of not just taking the brand name of Twilight Zone. They're creating their own. It's the same concept. These weird, odd stories with twists and whatnot. But it's great template for anthology. A. Thompson, Twilight Zone was really good. Yes, it was. A. Thompson, what was the Crypt Keeper? It was on HBO back in there. Well, that was Tales from the Crypt. Now it's based on the EC comics from the 50s, and they had quite a few. Tales of the Crypt was actually only one of them. There was Vault of Horror and stuff like that. So they took all those stories and adapted them to TV scripts and into that show. And that was fun. That was a pretty good show. Some of them were kind of silly and funny and stuff. But boy, there was one. What's his name? Is it Will Sadler? You see him in everything, or did see him in everything, where he was an executioner. And he did this cool narration of the whole story, and then becomes this vigilante killer when they overturn the death penalty in his state. So then he decides he just wants to keep on killing people he deems guilty. So he does. And then he gets arrested, and lo and behold, they put the death penalty back on the book. So guess who's going to get the death penalty? So that was a good one. But that was a lot of fun. They tried to do one with the science fiction comic book, Weird. It was called Weird Science. They couldn't call it Weird Science. I forget what title they came up with it. Maybe I can't remember, but it didn't take off as successfully as Tales from the Crypt did. St. Ranger Rod Serling's daughter has interesting tweets about the Twilight Zone. Oh, like behind the scenes stories and stuff. A. Thompson, Outer Limits tried to fill Twilight Zone's shoes. It needs to be filled. Well, I don't think you can. You can learn from it and go forward and do your own thing and whatnot. But it was lightning in a bottle, and a point in time it came and went. You know. A. Thompson, oh, the nanobots. That was a great episode. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Was it John Boy in that episode as the scientist? I forget the actor's name. Uh, anyway, A. Thompson. Then he had to electrocute himself, and he got an eye on the back of his. Yeah. He had an eye in the back. A. Thompson. Yeah, the first thing that happened, he didn't need glasses. Yeah, right. Yeah, because I'm better than ever, and then it just kept repairing things that weren't really broken, but the nanobots thought otherwise. Saint Ranger, I like the Outer Limits episode, the Xanti Misfits, with the giant ants who land in a 4-foot saucer. Yeah, that does sound familiar. Damn. I can't quite recall it all, but was the original one? Damn, I just don't remember. It's unfortunate. A. Thompson, but he had sex with some later and gave her the nanobots. I don't recall that. A. Thompson, pot is legal here, but if you go look at it, no way that is marijuana. I don't know what the fuck they grew. They pride themselves as being so powerful. Why do you need power? So you can lord it over other people. A. Thompson, when they first made it legal here in a normal supermarket, they had a grapefruit soda. I like grapefruit, so I bought it and drank it. I was stuck on a couch for hours. Fucking stoners put about 50 joints worth of THC in that soda. Well, that was well, aren't there supposed to be warning labels or something? Warning, we got a shitload of THC in this grapefruit. St. Ranger, I used to read and reread the Twilight Zone companion book, which had pictures, a synopsis, and the complete opening and closing speech by Serling. Yeah. St. Ranger, yes. Original Outer Limits. Okay, so, well, now I got to watch Outer Limits. St. Ranger, that's funny. What, the grapefruit story for poor A. Thompson? Ended up on a couch. That's probably why they did it. They're all laughing behind your back. I mean, holy crap, you could have had a reaction and it could have done serious harm. A. Thompson, there was no warning. Well, how are they going to get a return customer if their stuff's going to make them sick? They just figure everybody is just as much a stoner as they are, you know? Oh, well. So there you go. A little visit with me this morning. I drew this picture of this character that may or may not be significant for the TV show. Time will tell. So we'll do something. Well, tomorrow I will present my Sunday comics show, and if I'm up for it, I'll draw something there too, or something like that. I don't know. Oh, I might do some actual reviews of some comics because ended up with a stack of them, so I can split it between Sunday and Wednesday. So that might be something. A. Thompson, don't pass on Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, that was a good one. A. Thompson, in college we had a film version of the Birds. It was such an incredible movie. Well, yeah, it's kind of a precursor to like the idea like zombie movies where all of a sudden the world is upside down because some weird thing happens. But in this case, birds. But really, I mean, I consider it Hitchcock's weakest film. I mean, the guy was a master in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I think a lot of that just had to do with his obsession with Tippi Hedren, But the bird's location is 25 miles west of me. Pam and I ate lunch there many times. Did you eat chicken? 8 Thompson, it was black and white, but the clarity was flawless. Wow. Must have been like a really good print. Bodega Bay. So they got a lot of bodegas at the bay? Hmm, I guess. I don't even know. Uh, no. Okay. Guess that's not. And it's still not going to let me do it. I don't like this. Why does that do it? Okay. So, but why did it have that in there? I'm sorry. It's just like a lot of new things learning about EV Mux. And I think, boy, I've got it down now. I know exactly what I'm doing. And then it all goes to hell. And it's not playing. I wonder why that is. Now I'm all upset. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. This one. Well, no. Maybe is it just not in there? No. Well, creep, creep. Oh wait, that's what I'm doing. I need to do this, this. No, it's there. Why didn't it work this time? God, it worked the other night, and Nodak sent a super tip, and I was able to play it and everything. And now it's not. Okay, well, I'm not going to bother you with that. So there you go. Drawing on the black hand. Good little chat about Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and all that good stuff. 8 Thompson, there was a movie after the Outer Limits when aliens came and wanted all the blacks. 8 Thompson, Doug, you really need to see an IMAX movie. Yeah, maybe one day. St. Ranger had a turkey sandwich. Bodega Bay, it's named Bodega. I had to look up bodega. It didn't make sense. East Coast people call stores bodegas. Now I know, to me, a bodega is a bay with bad birds. But some bodegas do sell chicken salad. That could be why they're upset. St. Ranger, aliens wanted all the blacks. Yeah, that actually sounds familiar. I mean, long ago they had a B movie like Mars Needs Women or something like that, but these aliens wanted black people. I don't know. But that's what you get when you let your TV control the vertical and horizontal. All right. That's going to have to do it. Thanks for watching and visiting with your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. And 8 Thompson. Yeah, aliens wanted all the black people with 20%. What? Melanin in their skin? They wanted the melanin. Oh well. I guess that's their deal. You know. Uh, all right, that's the intro. This is the end. So I should be able to get the closing theme song right this time. Apologies for earlier. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. You got a drawing, and you got me babbling on about Twilight Zone and stuff. Oh boy, what a great little show we've had. So thanks for stopping by and watching, and hopefully do it. Well, tomorrow we'll do, like I said, Sunday comics, and I'll read you a story tomorrow morning on Sunday. That's why it's called Sunday Comics with me, Mr. Nailsin. Have a good rest of your day.